Hello.
Hello, man. How are you?
How are you? Nice to
Doing
see you.
doing fine. Great to see you too. Thank you very much for sitting with me and taking the time to chat.
It's a pleasure for me. Can you hear me well?
Perfectly. Can you?
Yes, yes. Everything is very good. I just have
Great.
to drink another beer.
Good.
My weekend has just started. So it's in the
Awesome.
morning.
Yeah,
It's
here
in the
it's
morning.
midday. It's midday here.
It's
But yeah,
midday.
it's Friday, so eventually beers will come. It's a must.
Yes.
Awesome. Cheers, mate. Cheers.
Cheers.
Um, well, to start, I must say I've heard the album. I loved it. It's brutal, amazing. So it'll be great to
Thank you
to
very
speak about
much.
a great record. Yeah, absolutely,
Great to
absolutely.
hear.
So I would like by to start by asking you. This is coming out June 4th via Metal Blade. And first of all, a simple question: what are your expectations for this release?
My expectations, of course, I don't want that old fans will say, "Oh, that's so terrible. We hate disaster now." uh, yeah, of course, I'm some kind of nervous every time a new album comes out because I would lie if I say I don't read critics, you know. Of course, I want to know what other people think about the music. We would never change somebody doesn't like this or that sound or that song, you know. But of course, it's interesting to see and to read and to hear what other people think about your music. You know, of course, we are human beings and we are social beings and we of course need to talk to other guys and we also need the mirror, you know what I mean. So of course,
Absolutely.
I hope that the record will be what's the word? My English is so rusty
Mine is
because
not
we
that
don't
well.
can play live. I hope that the album will get good reviews, of course, you know, and uh, yeah, I don't expect that I will become rich and famous with the new album. we haven't we haven't become a new Metallica in the last 30 years, so the hope is lost now. But
Yeah.
no, that is not our aim. You know that's not the reason why we are playing music. Of course, it was never the money or the fame or something like that. It's just the passion. You know, we
Yes.
can't do anything else than play heavy metal. That's our life.
And that's what we like to hear. So that's great. You'll definitely be getting a good review from our end because, as I said, I love the record before,
Thank
and
you.
when we are allowed to, we'll post it.
You compress everything. This is not working anymore, you know. And yeah, that was a big goal for me to change the sound. I always liked the sound of the third album, Times of the Netherworld, which has a very raw sound, a little bit muddy, you know, a little bit dark sound. But I like it very much. And my goal was to go back to this direction, not to copy it, but to have something like this, you know. And I think we managed to do it.
Yeah, and I don't know if that was the case with the previous one, but I imagine that the fact of recording this in your rehearsal room or studio and having rehearsed, I read also must have helped the performance a lot. Did you all record at the same time, or did you track the instruments separately? How was that like?
This time, I think again we managed to record the drums and one guitar track on at the same time. That was very good because this makes the basement for all the other stuff. And if this works very good, I think the sound and the songs and the feeling of the songs is much better than if everybody is recording after the other one. You know, if you only record with click tracks, that's too clinical. You know, that's not how Disaster should sound like.
Right.
You know, we are humans, and we don't want to sound like machines. You know, and so it's no problem for us if the timing is not good all the time. You know, it's quite natural that, for example, a song at the end is faster than at the beginning, because
You're
you
human,
have
right?
you know, you have to feel your aggressions, and of course you get faster in the song, you know, and that's no problem for us. So
Right.
we don't use click tracks, you know. That's nothing for us.
Yeah. And we like to hear that too from your end as well. And another good point in this album was the addition of Hunt as a new drummer. Certainly, that's, I think, something to point out, because he goes from like super blast beats in songs like Sadistic Salvation. There's a kind of disco beat in Exile is Imminent. That's really something to note. There's a lot to explore, and you used the word natural. I loved it. So what could you tell were the main highlights of his performance? What could you do perhaps that you couldn't do before? How was that like working with him in an album?
Yeah. Of course, the new drummer brought a lot of new uh, freshness into the band. That was great. He, of course, studied the old Disaster stuff, and he knows how he has to play traditional, that it fits to the Disaster music. But he's a very skilled drummer. He can nearly play everything. So he also has some moments where he shows his real talent, and this is, for example, in the middle of the song "Sadistic Salvation." Just listen to the drums there, so fucking great. When he played this part, you can't see his hands. You know,
That's a beast of
so
a song.
fast.
Yeah, he's killing it.
That's really great, you know. And
Yeah,
but I think he's a fantastic drummer, because of course he could show this at every song and at every second, but he don't do it. No? He plays. He prefers to play the traditional style, because that makes more sense when it comes to headbang and traditional Disaster stuff, you know. So it's great um, that we have this new drummer now in the band. It was a pity that we have to say goodbye to Tormentor, who still is a good friend of the band, but you know, he joined Asphyx, he joined
yeah,
Sodom, and he had no time anymore for rehearsing with us. And Disaster is a band, we can't exchange files via the internet, you know. That's not our way of playing heavy metal music. We have to drink beer at the rehearsal room, make some noise, you know, and that's where Disaster is taking place. So it was not longer possible, and we are glad to have Hond in the band now. He brings some freshness in the air, in the band, and he, yeah, he's a really very good character. To mention one point, he was playing also in a pop band, in a German pop band, very popular
oh,
band. They have a hit song, you know, which is played in the radio every day, you know, singing in German. So you won't have ever heard of his band. Jupiter Jones is the band name. And he even with his band, he even won the German Grammy, the music
wow.
prize, which is called Echo here in Germany. And I asked him, I want to see this Echo prize. Where is it? He said, oh, I gave it to a friend. I'm not interested in stuff like this. So you see, the character is good as well.
It seems like the perfect fit for Disaster, right?
Yes.
Cool.
He's not that chaotic like the other guys. He's more calm. He even only drinks 2 or 3 beers before the show, which is not possible for the other guys. but on the whole, he's a very cool guy.
Cool. Another song that I really liked was the closing one, Endless Awakening. I think it was a grandiose way to close the album. It almost feels like a continuation to like at the Eclipse of Blades from the previous one because of the length, the kind of variety it has within itself. So how was it working on this song, and why did you choose something like this to close the album again?
Yeah, I think this epic kind of songs is also a trademark of Disaster. We have, of course, always the black metal songs. We have the pounding thrash metal stuff, but we always had also this epic stuff. Some kinds a little bit medieval kind of songs, and I like to make an album round with also this slow songs. I never liked bands who played only fast songs all the time. That's getting boring. So I think on this record, on the new Disaster, we have a perfect mixture of all our trademarks. We have the two slow songs, Churches Without Saints, the title track, and Endless Awakening, which of course you mentioned it stands in a row with other epic tracks of us. And it's always a lot of work to do to convince our singer with this kind of songs, because he was never into this medieval stuff. He likes fast songs,
He likes to destroy.
aggressive songs.
Yeah.
And so it's always the same. I came up with slow riffs, and slow rhythms, and then he says, "Oh, this is boring." But after a while, he gets into it, and he writes good lyrics again. And even at this time, he says, "Endless Awakening" is his favorite song on the album.
Wow.
So I'm very proud. Perhaps I can convince him to make on the next album 3 slow songs. Let's see.
Who knows, right? Perhaps
Yes.
it'll be even 4 or 5. You let him decide. Actually, you touched the lyrical that he came up with the lyrics for this song, and I'd also like to know a bit about the meaning behind the album title. Churches Without Saints, and if there's a certain concept, perhaps that binds the lyrical aspect together this time.
The album title, to explain it, of course, Disaster Ever was a kind of anti-religious band, and of course anti-Christian band, and lyrical wise, because also in Germany the Catholic Church, Christianity is ruling too much in our kind of view. And I think in the year 2021, it's a shame that there are still some scandals going on with children abuse in the church, and that was one method to say stop this shit, to title the album Churches Without Saints. We don't have anything against religious people. They can believe in whatever they want, but if religion is institutionalized, it's always a problem. Those institutions want to tell you what is the truth. They want to tell you what to do. They say we are the one and only, the other religions are shit, don't believe in this, and this is I think it's so what can I say, it's we are living in modern times, so everybody has a free speech. It's important to have a free speech and a free mind. So they want only to oppress the people, and that can no longer be going on. Let's have a look at Poland, where Nergal of Behemoth is fighting against the Catholic Church. In Poland, there are still 90% of the people belonging to Catholic Church, and it has such a strong words in the politics as well, and that can't go on, because religion has nothing to do with politics. And if somebody wants to say what he thinks, he must be able to do this, and it's no method to forbid these words, you know. So I have high respect for his work in Poland. Hail Nergal.
Yeah, of course, he's a great. Yeah, you know, religion is, you said it, we're living in modern times. They should stop doing this. I mean, imagine it must happen over there too. A few years ago, Marduk, Swedish band, of course, was coming to tour with its latest album, and Colombia, I think, Chile, many countries forbid, I don't know how you say that, the show because of the
It's a
themes.
shame, yeah.
One should do whatever he likes. I mean, why we don't protest or forbid anything that they do? Why should they? That's something I.
You see, they show a naked man who was nailed on the cross, you know, and my children have to watch this. You know, films like this on TV are forbidden, but naked guy hangs on every wall. That's a shame, you know.
Yeah, they're a shame, but well, great that at least we can say through metal what we want to hear, and we would like the world to hear too. So it's kind of an obvious question for the times we're living, but did the pandemic represent some kind of complication to the overall? Well, you said that if it weren't for the pandemic, this album perhaps would have come out next year, but when it came to the recording or laying out some tracks, I mean, did you have some complications with the pandemic?
No, unfortunately not, because we of course had a lot of restrictions in Germany, but we don't tell anybody. we are lawbreakers. we came together with 4 people. What a shame, you know, and rehearsed and recorded an album. Our rehearsal room is big enough, you know, and of course everybody was wearing some kind of astronauts clothes, you know. So we were safe, and we all don't fear the virus, because we are all healthy. And but of course it's a problem, and it has to be taken serious. I also have a brother who has a lung disease, you know, and I of course don't go to him now until he has his vaccination.
Yes.
No. So but for the disaster it makes no problems.
Okay, great to hear. And well, the result is here.
We are a disaster on ourselves, you know. So
right. Absolutely agree on that one. So you also know, as you mentioned, Disaster was always, for me at least, and I think that for the world too, a band difficult to label, because you go black, death, thrash, speed, lots of stuff. So do you think that somehow you came to lean to some of these styles the most, perhaps to black, because of the lyrical aspects or some song parts, or the death aspect with the vocals, or you simply write music and don't give a shit about that stuff?
Yeah, that's good. No, of course, when we started as a band, it was clear from the very moment that we are a black band, you know, because we were fascinated by bands like Venom, bands like Merciful Fate, you know, King Diamond's lyrics. They inspired us a lot in the past, in the 80s. And of course, it was clear for us to go on this left-hand path from the beginning. And we have never changed that. Of course, the lyrics are not longer that simple, I would say. In the past, we had lyrics like sacrilege, with lyrics like piss on the Bible or something like that. Of course, we were younger. No? Nowadays, they are more philosophical, I would say. But they are still, of course, black and some anti-religious, anti-Christian, and so we have never changed. Music-wise, I would say, of course, we have ever been between some chairs, because we love black metal, we also love thrash metal, but we also love death metal, we love normal heavy metal, you know, we love a lot of styles of heavy metal, and of course we want to integrate this all in
Yes.
our music. But of course the strongest influences are old thrash metal we started with in the 80s, and then the early 90s bands like Dark Throne, Emperor, you know, they influenced us also a lot. So this is the main mixture of Disaster, but with also some death metal elements here, some running wild heavy metal, power metal stuff, you know, and I think that's our style.
Yes, I agree. I agree on that one. It's just great music. If that's true, you've got the whole black metal concept and vibe behind. There's a lot to everyone.
Thank you.
So one of the last questions for you. I think that you were going to come to Latin America in 2020, if I'm not mistaken. I had heard some people say that you were like starting to book some shows over here, but well, you know, COVID happened. So how's that like, not only with Latin America, but with the whole world right now? Are you even discussing some gigs, tours here and festivals? I don't know, or is it absolutely impossible thinking in something like that nowadays?
No, I'm looking forward to it. I think that situation will become better, and the other guys in the band, they also persuaded me to do some flights, some long flights again. I'm not that I don't want to travel that long, you know, and flying to South America is very hard. But the other guys, they're so hot to play in South America again, and I also love the countries. So there is a good possibility that we come back and play in South America. So hopefully situation will become better. So hopefully the total disaster will come to South America instead of the virus.
Let's hope so.
You will suffer more then.
I imagine that, well, of course, music is the best way to fight this virus, but with another virus, that's heavy metal. So that's the one we like. So, well, again, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with me about the new Disaster music. And for to end this interview, I'd like to ask you, what are the upcoming plans after the release of this album? You know, there's a lot of streaming shows going on and this stuff. Are you planning on doing something like that? I don't know, any other perhaps shows with limited, you know, capacity, if that's a chance?
Yeah, we are no streaming band because rehearsing is taking place in the rehearsal room, and with a lot of drinking. And I think it's boring to watch a Disaster show where we are drinking all the time. You know, no, we need the exchange with the audience. So streaming concerts is nothing for us. But of course, if it's possible, we will play live. Also, if it's only possible, if the people are sitting on chairs or something like that, let's try. It's better than nothing, you know. And of course, we hope that situation will become normal again soon. I want to say thank you for the good and interesting questions and for the interest in my band.
No, it's my absolute pleasure. I really like your music, and it was great chatting with you. And well, for the final words, I'd like you to send a message to your Latin American fans. You've already said that you will come soon. It will not be a short flight, I can promise you that, but I can assure you that the audience will destroy themselves in the pits and all that stuff. That will happen.
Like always in South America. That's so great. You have so much great maniacs there. And the last word I want to say is, you know that we are not a professional band. So if the album comes out, just steal it and buy the albums of other bands who make it on a profit base. You know, they need it more than Disaster. We can buy our beer with our other jobs, you know. So please support bands who really need it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. And stay safe. Hope to see you soon here.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice weekend.
Same to you. Goodbye.
Bye.